So good afternoon, everyone. So let's start with the today's a new drug that is Mezereum. So I am teaching this Mezereum from the Ellen's Keynote. I used another book also such as Bobrick and most of the from the Kent repertory. Okay, so but most of the topic it is oriented only to the Ellen's Keynote. Okay, so if you see the picture, so this is a Mezereum plant. Its name is your Daphne Mezereum. Okay, Daphne Mezereum. It is an European plant, and this plant blooms in the month of February. Okay, so let me write it here. So this plant blooms in the month of February. That is why if you see in our Ellen's keynote, it is written as a epidemics occurring in the January and February often call for the Mezereum. Now, why? Because the plant blooms during the season only. Okay. So epidemics occur in the January and the February often call for this Mezereum. So any type of the skin eruptions or anything, because Mezereum is one of this remedy which is very, the whole plant is actually irritant, especially the berries are irritant, but the whole plant is toxic plant and its discharges is very much irritant to that of the skin. Okay, so if any type of the skin eruptions, if it is occurring during the month of the January and the February, and if it is very much periodicity, like every year, doctor, every year during this winter season only, I am getting this problem. Okay, so we can think of this remedy Mezereum. So Mezereum is somehow very much similar to that Marxol. Okay. Yes, for example, in Marxol, there is a profuse salivation. You won't find this in Mezereum. Okay, so some of the things which is very much similar to that of the Marxol and the Mezereum, both are the syphilitic remedies. And Mezereum is one of the important where you will see that in both of this remedy, there is all the complaint aggravated at the night, all the complaint is aggravated from the warmth of the bed, all the complaint aggravated in the winter season, all the complaint aggravated in the washing or after the bathing, okay, from the cold water. So Marxol and the Mezereum, the symptoms are very much equal and both are anti or both are the syphilitic remedies. Now, if you see in the Ellen's keynote, it is written as a for light-haired, irresolute person of a phlegmatic habit. Okay. So, what do you mean by the irresolute? Irresolute का मतलब क्या है? It means कोई decision सही से नहीं ले पाना. Always या तो डिसीजन नहीं ले पाता है या तो ऑलवेज द पर्सन इज इन कंफ्यूजन. सो व्हेन द डिसीजन नहीं ले पाना, क्या मेरे लिए ये सही है, क्या वो सही है, क्या मुझे ये करना सही है, इट ऑल्सो मीन्स वीकनेस ऑफ द विल पावर. ओके, सो व्हाट इज द रुब्रिक ऑफ दिस? माइंड इन रिजोल्यूशन or mind confusion. Okay, so there is very much sub-rubric also, mind confusion or mind confusion when attempt to concentrate. Okay, you have to go to the sub-rubric, yes, but the main rubric is the person is irresolution, decision नहीं ले पाता. Okay, plus या तो बहुत कंफ्यूज रहता है, इसको हम लोग irresolution बोलते हैं. So what are the rubrics? The rubrics are the mind irresolution. Okay, sometimes because of the irresolution, he is always in a thinking mode. The constant thoughts in his mind. As a result, the person is always absorbed and buried in the thought. So this is the constitution of the patient. Okay. Now, there is another word written in the Ellen's keynote, which is phlegmatic temperament. So what do you mean by the phlegmatic? Means calm and quiet nature. बहुत स्लो है, ज्यादा एक्सप्रेसिव नहीं है. सो इसको हम लोग फ्लेगमेटिक टेम्परामेंट कहते हैं. दिस इज द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ द मेसेरियम. नाउ द मेसेरियम, now suppose if the patient, now the person is suffering from any disease, or when the person in the disease state, his mental general become different. Okay, so what is this? They become hypochondrial, indifferent to everything and everyone. They get angry at small things. Even it wasn't perfectly harmless things, but soon feel sorry for it. Hypochondriac means he was very much excessive worries. Okay. और ही विल एक्स एग्रीगेट हिज सिम्टम्स इन वेरियस वेज है कि मुझे अगर थोड़ा सा भी पेन है then he will or he or she will say his ex aggregate his symptoms. Okay, so this also mean your hypochondrial, it also mean your anxiety and the fear. So in the rubric anxiety and fear, you will see this Mezereum also. Anxiety, mind anxiety with fear, or something that something is arising from the stomach, mind fear, something is arising from the stomach. Okay, the hypochondriac nature, and their indifference to everything. So indifference and apathy. So the rubric will be mind, apathy, and the indifference. Anger at trifles and perfectly harmless things. So obviously mind, anger, and soon feel sorry for it. Okay, mind, anger, alternating with the quick repentance. Alternating with the quick repentance. तो पेशेंट आपको बोलेगा मुझे गुस्सा तो बहुत आता है, पर फिर बाद में मुझे थोड़ा खराब भी लगता है कि नहीं मुझे ऐसा नहीं बोलना चाहिए था। ओके, तो तुरंत ही मैं या तो अगर आप गुस्सा आता है तुरंत मान जाते हैं, हाँ 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 मैं मुझे समझ में आता है कि नहीं ये सही नहीं था, मैं तो तुरंत मैं अपने आप को कंट्रोल कर लेता हूँ। सो दिस इज ऑल्सो द पेशेंट विल टेल यू इन दिस वे। Okay, so these are the some of the mental general of the Mezereum. Now, go to the whenever you start to prescribe, the patient will come to you with the physical problem only. गुस्सा बहुत आता है ये तो हम लोग पूछते हैं, तो suppose the patient will complain, the patient will come to you with a physical complaint. Okay, so remember one thing, as Mezereum is the whole plant is very much toxic, okay, and it is written that it causes irritation in the skin. So Mezereum is one of the good remedy for any type of the skin eruptions, whether it is ulcers or whether it is or osteomyelitis, any type of varicose ulcer, anything. Okay, because Mezereum itself is a syphilitic remedy. So any destructive type of the disease, you can think of a Mezereum. Now there it is written in the keynote that is headache violent after the slight vexation means irritation. थोड़ा सा भी irritation होता है ना तो मुझे सिर दर्द देना शुरू हो जाता है. So headache violent, so severe headache after the स्लाइट वेक्सेशन. थोड़ा सा भी हेडेक होगा, थोड़ा सा भी चिड़चिड़ापन, मुझे कोई जब बोलता है कुछ भी अगर बोलता है तो मुझे बेसिकली सिर दर्द होना शुरू हो जाता है. एंड हेडेक इज मोस्टली इन द राइट साइडेड. रिमेंबर देयर इज सो मेनी राइट साइडेड हेडेक. One is bryonia also. Bryonia is also very much irritable. Okay. Other is a sanguinaria. It is also a very good remedy for the right sided headache. Okay. Now come to the another point of the tinea capitis. So it is, if you see, the head is covered with the thick leather-like crust, under which a white or yellow thick pus collecting underneath. Then the hair glued together. Then the pus collects there. There is an offensive discharges. Okay, echorius or the offensive discharges. The hair matted together. They also like. Where you will find some the breeds vermin. Okay, lice infestation due to the poor scalp condition. So this is a feature of any type of the fungal infection in the scalp, tinea capitis or the cattle scrab, especially seen in the children, in the infant. So Mezereum is one of the good remedies. So this is a cat 6 feature. Always if there is an itching, it itches at the night, itches at the warmth of the bed. And you should ask the patient कि रात को होता है, कब होता है, कितने समय में होता है. पेशेंट बोल रात को जब मैं खाना वाना होगा, जब मैं बिस्तर पर लेटने जाता हूँ तो मुझे ये दिक्कत शुरू हो जाती है. So that will be in the warmth of the bed. So these are the some of the rubric: head eruptions, crust scab, head eruptions, crust scab, white with a thick white pus beneath them. Okay, so you should remember this one. Now, another that is, it is a very good remedy for the rheumatism or for the bone pain, especially osteomyelitis, that is your caries, okay, any type of the caries or osteomyelitis or inflammation of the periosteum, exostosis. So caries, that is osteomyelitis, only bones tumor, okay, exostosis, bones tumor, okay, heart tumors or tumors soft from within out, okay. So or also in the case of your inflammation of the periosteum. Okay, we know that known as an periostitis. Periostitis. We know that this is a bone. Suppose it is a long bones and it has covering which is known as a periosteum. So if there is a covering of the bone, the inflammation of the covering of the bone is known as your periostitis. The patient will complain of deep boring pain, which is aggravated at the night, aggravated at the warmth of the bed, aggravated in the winter season. Okay, and it is a deep pain. Even they are aggravated from the perspirations. All similar symptoms to that of the Marksall. Marksall has an salivation is profuse, is thirst are profuse. Okay, Marksall has a very anger, but they do not feel sorry for it. But in Mezereum, they get quick sorry. Okay, they like that is your anger alternating with the quick repentance. Okay, so very good remedy for the bone pain. Now come to the skin. Okay, so there is a written that vesicles appears around the ulcers, each violently burn like a fire. The skin ulcers vesicles is surrounded by. And this ulcer also contains that thick yellowish white scabs. That skin itching ulcer aggravate in the night from the warmth of the bed. Okay, and the discharges are very much sticky that even the cloth gets stick to the ulcers, and if they removed it they started to bleed. Why they bleed? Because it was an unhealthy ulcer. Okay, there is a no formation of the granulation tissue. So granulation tissues form hote nahi hai. So non-healing ulcer, wound healing is very delayed. As a result, there is an oozing of some discharges. So this is very good symptoms of the Mezereum. So there is another thing written in the skin symptoms, especially the in Allen's keynote, that is neuralgia, burning pain after the zona. So zona here means your herpes zoster. Okay, so very good remedy for the post herpetic neuralgia, post-herpetic neuralgia. So it is aggravated, same thing from the warmth of the bed, aggravated at the night, aggravated in the winter. Dr. Nash has cured one patient with the same symptoms with the relief from the radiating heat. This is very important. इसको याद रखना. This relief from the radiating heat. Okay, the burning pains and burning shock like pain, stabbing pain, cutting pain, whatever the type of the pain, whatever the name of the disease, if you get these symptoms, whether it is toothache neuralgia, whether it is post-herpetic neuralgia, okay, one thing is that skin eruptions occurs after the vaccination. The remedy is Mezereum. The patient has taken the vaccination and after a few months, he developed eruptions on that site or in the other site. We can think of this remedy provided by the other symptoms are present. Okay. Now come to the toothache. It's a very good remedy for the toothache. So what are the rubrics you will find here? Toothache in the caries teeth. So teeth, caries, decay, hollow. Teeth feels elongated. The patient will literally will tell you कि ऐसा लगता है कि कुछ बड़ा बड़ा कुछ लंबा लंबा चीज है, ऐसा कुछ लगता है कि उखाड़ के ऐसा लगता है टिथ लंबा हो रहा है. तो टिथ फील्स इलोंगेटेड. सो इलोंगेशन सेंसेशन ऑफ चैप्टर टिथ, elongation sensation of. Okay, dull pain when biting. So teeth pain, biting the tooth together. Teeth pain when touched with the tongue. Teeth pain, touch of the tongue, aggravation. Teeth pain at the night. Okay, so teeth pain, touch of the tongue, aggravation, touch of the tongue. Okay, so these are the some of the rubrics. So Mezereum is one of the a great medicines for the skin ulcers, skin eruptions, skin eczema, whatever the name of the disease. A very good ulcer for the bone pain since it is an syphilitic remedy. So there is an degenerations. Okay, so there is a degeneration or the destructions of the bones. So you will find in the inflammation of the deep boring pain is a very good remedy for the varicose ulcer also, and also for the osteomyelitis. Okay. So these are some of the, so in the next class, we will do some comparison. Okay, we will do some another drug. You can type me in the chat box which drug you want to study. Okay, so thank you everyone.